what else can I show you? You can like review how much insulin he's had. You can go into like the history and you can see what's been done. You can, I should have showed you how I did that. I changed, so I went in and I reviewed his carbs. And let's say, here, this is a perfect example. He had 24 carbs at 10 a.m. and it's saying he's only absorbed 16 based on the settings I've put. It's saying, with what I know about your child, he's only digested 16 carbs. And then it tells me, so I think that he's going to be done digesting in 3 hours, not the 2 hours you said. And it's already been well over those 2 hours, obviously. So I'm going to play with that and say, you know what, you were right. Let's adjust to, it was really like 4 hours. And at that time, sometimes you'll be prompted like, oh, well, now that I know there's more carbs on board than I originally thought, because he hasn't finished digesting that, it might recommend a further bolus, which is not. And so now it's decided I'm still wrong and it's going to take 6 hours, but so it'll adjust his basal. So, and this is like a predictive line. So it thinks based on the carbs on board and the insulin it knows that's on board too. And it adjusts every 5 minutes, every time it gets data. So you'll see, it did, I think. It'll adjust its predictive line. So it knows it's flawed and it'll adjust it based on that. But that predictive line you really want to follow, because that's how you know, like if I look at a predictive line and I say like, that's not right, then I know something's up with my settings or the carb input and I need to adjust something because I know my kid and I know he's not going to go that low. So what doesn't Loop know that I should have told it? And you can go and adjust and it's really fun. But like for somebody who doesn't want to have to think about all that, it's still much easier to take care of someone else's kid or whatever, because Loop has your back, and Loop has your back according to what you like, not what FDA likes, and the input of the carbs is very like you're making it think more than just a bolus. Like it's really thinking about, it's going to know, like your kid had tacos and it takes 4 hours for them to eat those and it was 50 carbs. So I know that there's more carbs coming on board, so I'm not going to cut his basal, because even though he's currently 70, he's probably going to be 80 in the next 15 minutes because he had tacos an hour ago or whatever. And there's all kinds of other things going on. You can pick like different styles of Tyler uses Fiasp. And that's a very fast-acting insulin. I mean, that's a joke because it still takes it about an hour to peak, but it does come on board faster than Novolog or Humalog. So we chose, where do you see that? Carb ratio, insulin model. So our insulin model is set for Fiasp, and it'll show you how it thinks it acts, like how it thinks Fiasp behaves. And there's different models and you can play around a little bit with that. I don't know too much about that. So that's it. And then Night Scout, just to make this video take forever and ever.
Wait, I wanted to say something.
You will, I'll let you say something. Night Scout looks like this. And this is how we follow what's happening in Tyler's Loop, because it'll tell us, it shows his basal rate and it's showing that it cut it off a few times, and it shows when he was last bolused, and you can bring up and review stuff, and there's even more fun things you can do that I would go into in person with you. But it even and then it even tells you, like, you can choose what it shows you, and Chad has it showing him that he went up by 1 point the last Dexcom read. He has negative insulin on board. That's saying that because it cut his basal, it's below what he usually would have on board. His carbs on board and a bunch of other stuff that Loop is communicating well. It last communicated 3 minutes ago. It communicates about every 5 minutes with Dexcom, because that's when Dexcom communicates. And the predictive line is this purple. Oh, good. So so Loop's like, all right, he's gonna go a little low, but then he's gonna come
but
back
we don't
up.
actually expect that little low.
Because we know more than Loop. So So I don't mind that it cut his basal, but if I start to mind that, I can go back into those the carb counts usually or I can do my own little
But it'll
adjustments.
do a little bit of that on its own. You don't have to go back and just carb
because
control.
it'll see that, oh, it's not doing that, and this predictive line will change.
Like here, it ramped up his basal.
Yeah, see, it had it cut off, and then it
you
realized
didn't do anything. We didn't do that.
Yeah, so it realized, oh, I kept his basal cut off for too long. And so to make up for it, it ramped it up for a little while to make up for it. And look how beautiful it
I don't know if
became.
you can send a 12-minute video.
I'm going to try. All right. Well, Tyler wants to say something. Oh, say hi, Chad.
Hi.
I don't remember having to set the temporary basals and the extended boluses that much. All I remember is that it was very annoying. I would be walking to lunch and then I'd be like, okay, you bolus this, and then you do the extended bolus for this, and then the time goes on. I was like, but Luke does that on its own. It just changes the basal on its own. You don't have to do that. You just bolus.
So it made it a lot less intrusive when I had
It's
to
so much
communicate
easier
with you
and
at
less annoying.
school. Yeah.
Or less
So you like
intrusive,
it?
yes. I don't want to have my phone out, my PDA out, be like, okay. Having the phone out and the PDA out is annoying, but then it doesn't really take away that, because then you also have to switch through to the text thing, to the loop thing.
Oh, you know what? Are you able to show her your Dexcom? Are you able
No,
to?
I'm
Why?
in
You're wearing
jeans.
jeans. You never wear. Oh, because of the dirt bike?
And I have my pajamas upstairs.
Okay,
but I'm
so
too
because we
lazy.
have this amazing adhesive we love to use that I highly recommend for
Yeah.
Dexcom.
It's good.
So ask me if you need a recommendation on that. It's like the best. And I also have, okay, so actually, why don't I just show you? You know what? I'm going to send this and then I'll send that another video.